And welcome in everybody, so from in here came Papa the Second, bringing you another video guide or another boss guide on Tanya. Yes, Tanya is back for another rerun of Vengeance since last year, right? Okay, so we're just gonna start right off the bat, but before we do that, if you're new to my channel, if you're new to Brown Dust 2, and you're having a little bit of issues with Tanya, I got you, okay? So like and subscribe, it does help me out a bunch, but also it does help you out a bunch too, because I hope my videos do in some way or form help you guys out to get references or to at least help your builds up a little bit more with bosses. Okay, I really do hope these help though, I really do. But let's hit it. Okay, so Tanya, right? Okay, so Tanya here, she's a pain in the ass, at least I find it to be, and we're gonna take a look at that right after I go into the gear. Okay, so let's go talk about the gear a little bit, because it worked a little bit differently than how I normally like discuss the gear on like my normal videos, right? So let's hop straight into it. So first off, first team I used was Ulstein. I know, right? Ulstein playing a part in this. There's a reason for this, and I'll explain it. So Ulstein, Sonya, Zenith, Vendana, and Palette. And then my second team for the heavy hitter we have on this team is actually going to be Grunhilder. Yes, she's going to be doing the most DPS in this entire team's lineup in general. Okay? Out of the two teams. So we have Grenadier, Raphithia, Deanna, Wilhelmina, and Grenadier. And Grunhilder. Sorry. And Grunhilder, okay? So let's take a look at their gear real quick, right? Okay, so if we're looking at Ulstein first, okay? So here's the thing. Since Tanya does fixed damage, which does suck for us, we are going to have to increase our health. Okay, we're going to have to boost our health a little bit more, especially if you're going to be taking on stages beyond 10. Okay, this is stage 10 I'm doing this on, okay? Now, health-wise, with Ulstein here, right? I have him up to 13,000, okay? In all honesty, if I want to tackle even heavier floors or harder floors in this case, right? His health is going to be actually, it's going to have to be higher than this. But I don't have the refining powder at the moment, nor do I have the refining crystal to change some stats around. But yeah, so as for this one, because I made it up to like floor 13, right? That's the best I could do for the moment at least. Hopefully I can get it up to 14, but we'll see. But anyway, so yeah, the HP here, guys. So make sure you have Scale the Sea God, okay? You can use Scale the Sea God, or you can use even the armor. I mean, you can actually use this too. You could use Hellfire Robe, right? Okay, you can use Hellfire Robe. I don't know why I just did that. My bad. But yeah, so I meant to click on this to compare. But yeah, so you can use Hellfire Robe, or you can use, what was that one called again? Scale the Sea God, I said. Or you can also use one of these armors too, which is the Immortal Golden Armor. So anything that adds basically HP percentages, you just want to have on them, okay? And this one was called, yeah, Scale the Sea God. So yeah, that's the one I have on him. Tier 4, by the way, Tier 4. These are all going to be Tier 4s, okay, all the gear. Now, if we're going to be looking at his helmets wise, right? Look at his helmet. Take a look at his helmet. So, let's see. Click on it. Crown of Galaxy. Yes, we're going to be using the Crown of Galaxy. So, you're going to be wanting that extra HP percentage, okay? And, let me see. What were the other ones, too? I mean, you could also use, if you really wanted to, you could also use, the Helm of Death percentage, HP percentage. I don't know. I wouldn't really use this one, Undefeated Glory, because it doesn't have a percentage number on it. But like I said, always, refer to gear based off of your stats or what their skill trees look like when it comes to stats. Percentages or flat stats. That's how I normally do it, okay? And then you can also use the other helmet. Oh, that's all of it. Yeah. So you can only use those two helmets, okay? That'll help you out. And then as for everything else, gear-wise, I mean, to be honest with you, instead of using the Venomous Touch, I honestly should have used, like, the Charming Gaze, because it does add HP percentage, right? And that's what I would use at least. And I would use also when it comes to this one right here. Or you can also use this too. The Promise of Harmony also adds HP percentages. Because since Allstein is not a DPS unit, he's just here for support. You don't really need to rely on anything that remotely, you know, is going to be given him power. Okay? But yeah, so those are the choices that I would use. But like I said, I kind of ran out of resources with some things. So, I mean, I would have to get very, very lucky. I mean, let's see. Can I get lucky on this with stats? Let's see if I can. Substats, at least. Oh my god, actually, that's not bad. Wait a second. That's actually not bad then for him to survive. He also got magic? Oh, okay. Wait, hold up. Wait a second. This could work. This could work. Actually, now this could work. Wait a minute. This could work. He could survive. Okay, so while I'm talking here, yeah, so you just want to have like percentage numbers with HP, guys. Okay, if you want to survive all this, that's what I would personally recommend. Okay, unless you're not trying as hard, then you don't really have to do it that way. But all in all, percentage numbers are going to help you out with this with HP, just to survive at least. Substat wise, you just have to depend on who you have, physical damage builder wise, or even like magic build. Okay, it's not that difficult with that. It's just getting the stats. Okay, so we're at 15. You know what? It's okay. He just needs the health. So in all honesty, that's okay with me. So there we go. There he is, guys. He's got more health. Okay, now when it comes to the well, you know what? I'll get into the bonds later. But yeah, so I just wanted to showcase that. So there you go. Okay, so now that he has a little bit more health, which is a nice thing. So yeah, so gear wise, that's what I would do. Same thing with Sonya. Sonya, like I said, same layout. I put Hellfire Robe on her though, because I didn't have, you know, my other gear with her, so I just chose Hellfire Robe. Okay, I chose again the Crown of Galaxy tier 4, and Hellfire Robe is also tier 4, by the way. Like I said, all gear is going to be tier 4 on this. Now for her stats wise with attack, I mean, a lot of it is based off of her magic, right, if anything. But the thing is, she's not going to be, you know, a sub DPS unit here in this case. She's just here to supply debuffs. Okay, the vulnerability and the nightmare that she inflicts. And you're going to see that later on, okay? But like I said, make sure that she has a lot of health and it's decent enough that she can survive the hits, okay? Zenith, okay, Zenith is more or less kind of the same thing, but she's not really going to be hit all that much in this one. So I just left her gear alone the way it was with like crit damage as substats and some attack numbers here and there with percentages and flat stats. A lot of her HP came from her SR gear here, okay, so that she can't survive it. Ventana, same thing. She's not going to be hit on this. You do not want Ventana to just get hit in general because she'll get just straight up destroyed. So I didn't really have to worry too much about her gear. She's just there to apply light vulnerability, which you're going to see when I start the matchup, okay? And then Palette, same thing. You want her to survive. I just kept her gear kind of different-ish. I did use the Promise of Harmony to get some HP percentages. I know this one really doesn't help me out. But, well, this substat here at least. But yeah, I got kind of lucky with her substats, so I just put HP percentage on her. She's just here to extend the debuffs that you inflict, which you'll see in what I'm going to go into, okay? As for that, okay, that's what I did with my first team. My second team is where really a lot of this was shining, okay, for damage-wise. So everybody else, again, HP, make sure that they have a decent amount to survive the hits. So I rocked Grenadier with the Charming Gaze, right? Now, she already had a decent amount of health because of the bond that I actually used for her, which I'll get into right after this, like I said before. Rafithia, I did the same thing, except I kept her exclusive gear because I actually had a lot of health on this, and just in general, so I just kept it. I used the Crown of Galaxy again, a tier 4. And honestly, I didn't feel the need that she needed more health, okay? Now, her bridal ability is going to play a huge role in this, so that's another thing that you want to keep in mind when, you know, having their gear equipped, is because the higher their health here, in this case, the more energy guard she can supply. So we go and we take a look at her skill info about this, which is why I was saying this is important with their health, right? Because if you look at her costume here, right? So apply an energy guard, so-and-so. It's going to be different depending on your gear build, by the way. Apply an energy guard to allies equal to 50% of their own max HP for 2 turns. So that's why I was saying, you know, this is very important, especially for Grunhilder. Okay, so that's why I say get their health at least a decent amount up there. Okay, for this fight. And then for Deanna, I kept it pretty simple with her. I just put magic in her more so. And I did have some substats where I had some health in it as well as the gear. And I used Promise of Harmony for her. I tried to get a tier 4, but I couldn't. So I'm just rocking a tier 3 at the moment. But yeah, so the reason why you want to focus with her with health, with magic being, is because of the energy guard, which also plays a part in Grunhilder's build. Okay. So, magic, I did my best to try and get it a little bit higher, okay, because her ability for, I know, this Yordi Dory message again, but, her energy guard ability, it scales off of her magic percentage. That's why I tried to get her magic a little bit higher with some of it, because the energy guard is going to play a part also with Grunhilder's Boo Ghost one, okay, it all makes sense once you see it, okay. And then with Helmina, I also added a lot of health on her because she needed it. Now, she's just here for chain stacking, okay? She's not really here for, like, damage numbers. It's just chain stacking. So I applied Immortal Golden Armor, tier 4 on her, okay? And I applied the Helm of Death, tier 4 on her, right? So everything else, however, I just picked Venomous Touch, and I chose to use God King Sliver Arm, and I have her exclusive weapon. Now, as I always say with exclusive weapons, okay, well, exclusive gear in general, you know, in this case, it's a weapon, right? You can just, you know, substitute it for, you know, the, where was it? The Dragon Sword that Lathel has, that, well, my Lathel has at least, this one right here. You can substitute it for Wilhelmina using the Evil Dragon's Blade, or you can use the Thor's Hammer, as I call it, or the Hammer of Thunder. Okay, or you can even use the Peerless Javelin as a substitute if you do not have her exclusive gear. But like I said, in this case, Grunhilder is really the one that's going to be the heavy lifter with this. Now, we're going to take a look at Grunhilder, okay? Because she's like one of your most important builds. So Immortal Golden Armor, I supplied on her for the HP percentage. Substat-wise, if you can get them, if you can do this, get them to be crit damage percentage numbers, okay? Because that's all she's going to rely on, okay? Helm of Death, same thing. Percentage numbers, or substats, I mean, for percentage, critical damage, okay? A Venomous Touch, obviously pick this choice. If you're very lucky and you can do it, get the substats to be percentage numbers for critical damage. And then for Prime Authority, I tried to get the last one to be a crit damage, but it's okay. It's just like one less 18% I could have used, right? But try and see if you can get them to be critical damage percentage numbers for Prime Authority, okay? And then as for her exclusive gear, okay, so if you have it, then you should have an easier time. Then again, I don't really think you would have a difficult time either with just using a substitute, but you have to use the right substitute weapon for this fight, okay, in particular. Now, hers is going to give you an exclusive attribute of health, which is also a very nice thing, playing into the damage roll that Grunhilder is going to inflict, as well as critical damage for basic attributes and attack percentage, okay? Now, I tried to get the last one to be a critical damage number, but hey, I got an HP, so it's not all that bad. But yeah, that's what I did. Now, substitute-wise for Grunhilder, if you do not have her exclusive gear, you can actually then just use the... highlight here, the Evil Dragon's Blade, because it does provide critical damage. And then from there, if you want to see if you can get the critical damage numbers applied here, and obviously make sure it's a tier 4. I know it says a tier 3 on here because I wasn't fortunate enough to get a tier 4, but make sure it is a tier 4 instead of a tier 3. Okay? But yeah, use this gear instead because it does have that critical damage as one of its basic attributes. Okay, so does that make sense? So now we're going to talk about the bonds. Okay, so like I said, this boss was kind of a pain in the ass, which is why I didn't really like it. So bond-wise, we're going to start with Grunhilder, okay, since we left off on her. Now, these are my stats, okay, for her. her, like I said, her critical damage numbers are more important than her attack. It's always going to be like that because of her Boo one. So if we look at her costumes here, right, the Boo one is going to take high priority. Okay? When it comes to this. So reason being why you want your entire second team to have HP percentages, okay, with kind of the exception with Deanna here, is because, so attack the enemy 8 times, dealing so-and-so physical damage equal to 8% of your max HP. Okay, so right off the bat, that's why I was saying, like, her attack, well, her build, yes, needs some HP in it. But this is where her real damage comes on in. Simultaneously deal, now it does say zero physical damage at the moment because she does not have any energy guard on right now. Okay, that's all live when you see it happen. Then you'll see the numbers. Okay, now equal to 10% of your energy guard. Okay, so having idle Grunhilder is always going to play a huge role in the damage effects when it comes to Boo Grunhilder. Does that make sense? So yeah. So if you have comeback idol Grunhilder, then you should be golden. You don't necessarily need to have her Valkyrie or the Void Grunhilder for this one, because I'm not even going to be using this costume. I know, I'm sorry. But like, I'm only going to be using her idol one and her Boo one. Okay? But yeah, so as for everybody else when it comes to this, Grenadier, and Raphithia, right? Deanna as well. So when you look at Deanna, her dystopia, anti-dystopia. So apply an aura to yourself for 2 turns. Allies within the aura gain an energy guard equal to 900% of your magic attack, which regenerates each turn. So that's why I said, you know, her magic is going to be a little bit more important because it gives her more energy guard numbers, therefore increasing the energy guard that's applied to Grunhilder, right? Which she then can have a little bit more energy guard to dish out some damage here. Does that make sense? It might not be a whole lot more, but hey, every damage, you know, increase does help. And then if we look at, then where's she at? Where's Raphithia? Oh my god, I gotta look for her now. Where's Raphithia? So Raphithia, okay, we take a look at Raphithia here then. I don't know why she wasn't on there like that. She should have been like up here. But anyway, so we take a look at Raphithia, right? So let's go to her costumes here real quick. It's her bridal one. Okay, so apply an energy guard to allies equal to 50% of their own max HP. So it's like your allies' HP. Okay, they gain more energy guard, right? So that's what I was saying, you know, make sure they have a high enough, some high health on there. Especially, you know, Grunhilder, because, you know, she'll then gain some more energy guard, you know what I'm saying? See how it's clicking together? So yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if she has more energy guard, right, from more HP that she has, it plays a role in it. But not as much as a role, you know, with everybody else. Okay? Does that make sense? Like I said, all this you'll see once I put this into, you know, action here. And then as for Wilhelmina, she's just there for the chain stacking. Okay? So let's go take a look at the bosses now. I hope this helped you guys out and with the gear wise. I know it's very different how I normally say with gear, but Tanya was a bit of a pain in the ass to deal with this one. At least I found it to be. Now, unfortunately, I do not have a built Ulstein, right? Meaning, so I could have covered more range had I leveled him up. Because he does actually do 9 tiles, just like his Fiend Scholar one does 9 tiles. He also does 9 tiles, but you have to level him up. Now, unfortunately, I didn't have the luxury with that. The reason why Sage of Blue Clouds Ulstein plays a part in this is because if you read this, right, if the enemy is a magic type, reduces their magic attack by, now for me, it's 54% for 2 turns instead, right? And this is why I was saying, it's not necessarily the remove stat reinforcement effects from the enemy, because this boss, Tanya, doesn't really have any. It's the reducing of the attack, or, you know, reducing of how much damage you take from Tanya. That plays a role in this, right? Which is why with Ulstein, it was very important, because this is like one of the very few, I would say, times I would ever use him. Because it just so happened Tanya was a magic type, so it worked out, right? So I'm not going to be getting demolished as much. But if you do have a +5, like, you know, Ulstein here, then you honestly should have no issues with, like, technically taking on a lot of damage. Because if you look at him as a +5 here, right? Magic, if the enemy is a magic type, reduces their magic attack by 70% for 4 turns. And now with the additional palette extending debuffs on the enemy, because technically this is a debuff, okay? Then this can help you. Okay? This can help you. So yeah. But yeah, so sadly though, I don't have him built, right? Plus, his SP cost is like 1 point, which is incredible. And also, he can activate this skill every other turn. So, like, if we look at him, like, let's see. So, I have him at +2, sadly, right? I do not have him leveled up. If I had him leveled up, my cooldown time would have been every other turn, which actually would have helped me, because less damage I take, the better, right? Because this mofo does, you know, fixed damage on me. And then, obviously, at +3, the SP cost goes down. So, like I said, if you have a built Sage of Blue Clouds, Ulstein, you should honestly be fine. Okay. Bond wise, I just chose it based off of their HP percentage numbers. So we'll use Ulstein here again. So I picked anything with an HP percentage number instead, right? It was a higher HP percentage, so I was like, you know what? Let me do that instead. Same thing I did with everybody else, basically. I chose based off of their HP. Well, Grunhilder was a little bit different. But, and Deanna was. So like I said, I chose HP percentage here instead. So, Grunhilder, I did the same thing. Zenith, I did the same thing. HP percentages with their bonds. Palette only has 1 costume so far. As for everybody else that I said that needed a little certain, you know, certain bonds, I picked Anti-Dystopia because increased her magic a little bit. Percentage-wise, you could just do this, yes, to have her survive. But I did this was because of the Energy Guard. Like I said, plays a role in her Energy Guard when she applies it, because it's based off of her percentage with magic. So I just said, you know what? Let me just do this. Add a little bit more. Doesn't hurt. So that's why I did it for her. And then as for Grunhilder. Okay, so Grunhilder, her HP percentages in general, I think are all the same. I don't have the Void leveled up with her her exclusive you know, skills. So, but I think it does add up to 62%, 62.40%. So, however, I picked the Boo Ghost was because of the extra elemental damage, or the extra property damage you gain with light. So that's what I chose for her. Okay? So, there you have it. That's my build on everything. Okay? And, like I said, everybody else, bond-wise, besides Deanna and Grunhilder, I just chose what the highest HP percentage was on them. Same thing I did with Wilhelmina, right? I chose her bond, and I picked her Frozen Queen because of the HP percentage. Because she's not so going to be used for, like, attack. Okay? I know that was kind of a long description, but I hope it helped out nonetheless. Now we're just going to head straight into the fight here, okay? But I think it's important to actually talk about the gear and explain what goes into it, especially, you know, at times when you face a boss like this, you know? So I really do hope that helped out. Now we're going to look at Tanya, okay? So Tanya, so also pay attention to this too, okay? So battle environment effect that you gain in this is you're gaining a 100% crit rate. So another big reason as to why Grunhilder didn't really need to have, like, you know, like, she only focused on her gear-wise was critical damage, okay? So, yeah, the battle environment effect, you gain a 100% crit rate, okay? So, we're looking at the conditional skill of Tanya here. She's just going to activate this right off the bat. So, you have 2 units on this field that you're just going to have to choose for every turn that doesn't get hit by this, right? So, if you get hit by this, it's the skill activates of 1 time per team in battle. Apply target avoidance to the head party or parts for 8 turns. Apply 1 SP cost increase to the enemy for 8 turns. Deals 2,568 fixed damage magic to the enemy equal to 300% of your magic attack. I know, it sucks, but it is what it is. So this boss is kind of special because it not only does fixed damage, but it also doesn't have a weakness other than it's a dark elemental type, and we can use light elemental. That's literally it. It's kind of, in a way, straightforward, but at the same time, you do have to do some changes to your builds when it comes to just increasing HP, okay, in your gears. Right? So, this is going to activate. They're just going to have to take it. Now, when it comes to team order here, I first apply the Arrival of the Cloud Dragon, which was the blue sage for Ulstein's costume. So I'm going to reduce the enemy attack. Now, this attack right here on its right hand, it's going to be hit by this, thankfully. So, all in all, the attack, it's going to be reduced the next turn, correct? Hopefully. Oh, wait a minute, no. Oh, no, it doesn't. That's right, it's only 2 turns. Shit. So you see why I said, like, if you have a built Sage of Blue Clouds, Ulstein, because it gets extended to 4 turns. So that's why I said it's actually very important. Very few times you'll ever see him in action, to be honest. But yeah, so I'm just going to then just do this just to avoid some damage with this here. So that should still help me out. Sonya, I'm going to activate and apply vulnerability to the enemy. Okay. And then I'll activate Zenith's skill for her Robin Hood one. Going to concentrate fire. Most of the concentrated fire is going to be over here, this entire fight. Okay. So I'm going to activate this because for me, I have her at +5 and I do have her where she doesn't use SP points. So basically a free skill every single turn I can use. And then as for Ventana, we're going to apply light vulnerability onto this mofo. So we're going to keep her in the corner so she doesn't get hit by this. Okay. And then as for Palette, we're going to use her ability to extend the duration of all the debuffs. Make sense? Okay, so let it roll. Yeah, like I said, this fight was pretty interesting, to say the least. Let me move Palette up here a little bit. So in case you guys want to see what the turns are. Okay, so now we're on the next skill, correct? So here we are. So this is a fixed damage attack of hers. So just smooth them out of the way for this one, for example. Right? We're going to apply Ulstein to restore SP bar. Okay. Then we're going to use Zenith's skill. So I'm going to put her up there. Right? Palette's under cooldown time. To be honest with you, you don't necessarily need to apply this, but if you want to, go ahead and do it. Because I think in the next turnaround, you're going to be using Palette's skill again to extend it, right? I think that's true. Yeah, that's true. So just use Sonya's Nightmare ability on it. Ventana, obviously you don't have SP points yet, so just let it roll like this, okay? Restore that SP bar now. Look at that. 20 SP points. Let's get it. There we go. Okay, so if we look at it, does have Nightmare mode on, vulnerability from light, and then just vulnerability in general. Okay, so she's going to attack over here, so you're going to move Ventana over here so she doesn't get one-shotted. Then you move Sonya over here. Now, someone's going to have to take the hit, right? So, it looks like my boy Ulstein is going to have to get hit by this, unfortunately. Now, you can either use any of Ventana's idle skill or her Snow White skill, don't matter. I will just use her idle one. And then Palette's going to then extend the durations of all these again, okay? So even the Nightmare one. So everything checks on out, right? Lovely. Okay, so, sorry, Ulstein. Yeah, Ulstein, for the better part of this, he's just going to take a lot of hits in general. That's why that, you know, Sage of Blue Clouds costume came in handy, you know, and I regretted not trying to plus him a little bit more because, well, let's face it, guys, you don't really see him in action all that much, his Sage and Blue Clouds. Okay? So now I'm going to use this one again. So the attack's going to hit here, right? And obviously you can see that the vulnerability and everything was extended, right? Even the Nightmare one. So there you have it. Got extended by Palette. So, good thing for us, though, is since Concentrated Fire is still on, we are going to be hitting the hand or whatever this is that's going to hit us, and it's going to do reduced damage, okay? So we should actually survive this. So we're going to do this, right? We're going to move Ventana last since Palette's in cooldown time. Ventana has to go over here, though, however, because she's a light elemental still. So mind you, she can still get one-shotted by Dark Elemental type because she's weak against it, right? Okay, so here we go. Everything checks on out. If you want to make sure, too, you can, like, move Zenith over here, but I don't know if she would survive this. I think Sonya would because she's a Dark Elemental type, and going up against another Dark Elemental type, I think the damage is reduced a little bit, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, we'll see. I'm trying to remember. But yeah, just make sure, you know, Holstein uses his ability here with this one. There you go. Okay, yeah. So, Sonya survived it. Good, good, good. That extra health does help out. Now, this is when we get one-shotted just in general. So, just apply whatever you can. Okay, so put Palette at the end here. Ventana, you're going to reapply now the light vulnerability onto the enemy with her own sin. So, all in all, this is the order it should look like. So, Restore, Zenith, applies the Concentrated Fire. And then Sonya over here activates her vulnerability skill, right? And then Ventana applies light vulnerability, and then Palette extends debuffs. So there you have it. That's your first team there. Not a lot of damage to start off with, but that's okay. That's about to change now, okay, on Team 2. So do not worry. Now, I know that you can use Sacred Justia for this fight, but I was going to do something differently with it. In my opinion, I believe Hilder does a lot more damage than Sacred Justia. Okay, so let's see here now. So, same thing. It's going to activate its skill again for conditional. So, I'm going to activate the drone. Put the drone up here first, right? So, for Grenadier, we're going to activate her Shrine Maiden ability first for augmentation, because this is going to help us out, and you'll see why. And then we're going to activate Rafithia's Gluteus one. She's going to also give us some more critical damage for 6 turns, and also restore some SP points, which is what we want. Because this team, in all honesty, does use a lot of SP, especially Grunhilder. So then we're going to activate Deanna's Adventurer skill. Wilhelmina, you're not going to do anything with Wilhelmina right now, okay? Along with Grunhilder, they're just not going to do nothing. So move the drone over by Grunhilder, okay? And as for everybody else that's about to get hit, let them get hit, okay? The reason why I'm saying this, okay, so you guys can correct me if I'm wrong about this, because I'm not sure myself with this, but I believe, okay, so absorb debuffs from allies. For each debuff absorbed, grant that ally one stack of 10% augmentation for 6 turns, can stack up to 15 times. So I wasn't sure if it meant that depending on how many debuffs like are inflicted on us, or if it's the number count. Meaning, like, so when I'm about to get hit, 5 of them are about to get hit by this, right? So I was thinking, like, okay, so for each debuff inflicted on us, does that add up, like, stack-wise? Absorb debuffs from allies for each debuff absorbed. I don't know if that means from, like, for each of, like, each debuff that's inflicted, like, a multiple one, like, say if Tanya did bleed on us too, right? That's what I wasn't sure. Or if it meant, like, just the count. So, like, 5 of us are going to get hit. So that's 5 debuffs when you count them. That's why I was a little unsure about this. But like I said, correct me if I'm wrong about that. Okay, so as for Grunhilder, you just don't want her to get hit, because if she does get hit, her energy guard does go down. Therefore, her attack that's reflected by her energy guard goes down. So you just don't want her to get hit at all. Okay, does that make sense? So let it play out. Okay, here we go. And always make sure that drone is on Grunhilder. Okay, make sure. Now another big, another nice thing about this is that the drone also gains a barrier when you activate it. when you activate Deanna's magical innovator skill. So it actually is helpful that that happens. And I don't know why this sometimes gives me an issue with moving. There we go. Okay. So now we're going to be hit again. So that's a fixed attack. So move everybody over here. Okay, activate drone again. Activate Grenadier's magic ability. Okay, now you're going to activate Rafithia's energy guard because you're going to attack one time now. Okay? Now, Grenadier has to go before Deanna in this case. Because Deanna's energy guard now is going to be activated. So, with Grenadier activating or increasing ally magic, she's also now going to be increasing Deanna's magic. So that's also going to be reflected in her energy guard also being supplied even more so. Because if you read it here, like again, like I said, it's equal to 900% of your magic attack. Makes sense? And then this is when you'll activate Wilhelmina's chain stacking ability with her Wavebreaker skill from her Splash Queen costume. And then this is when you're going to activate Boo. Okay? So Boo Grunhilder, you're going to put her right here. You're going to put the drone over here. You're going to put Rafithia on the side here. So she's highlighting also Wilhelmina. And then as for Grenadier, it doesn't really matter where she's at. Okay? But someone is going to get hit on this. So that's okay. Okay, that's okay. Just make sure that, you know, it's either the drone or Rafithia. In this case, I chose Rafithia to get hit because she has more health. Well, not more health. Technically, she can put an energy guard on her, right? I mean, if you really want to, you can switch their places if you like. Doesn't really matter. Okay? But I'll just put it like this. Just because. Okay, so first hit, right? Let's see. So you want to look at her attack here. So it goes up, right? You see how it goes up? Nice, right? That's a beautiful hit. And like I said, the stage effect skill is a 100% crit rate. So keep that in mind, okay? So now we go and we look at the drone again, activate it again. Okay, so in this case, if you really want to, you can do this if you'd like. I'm going to activate Pool Party Rafithia to increase my property damage by 100% for 8 turns instead. It's also going to apply 1 SP cost reduction too for 8 turns, which will basically be the entire fight. Everybody else is in cooldown time, so it really doesn't matter all that much. Just make sure they just don't get hit. Okay? You can just do that instead. So, I'm choosing Deanna or Rafithia. We're going to move Rafithia instead because, well, I don't think it matters. I mean, if you got to go back a turn just to make sure, then do it. But we should be fine. But for this turn, turn 15, just make sure no one gets hit. Except for just choose... Somebody has to get hit. Like, only one of them is going to get hit on your team. Okay? Okay. So now, this attack right here is like the big attack, right? So we're going to do this. Activate the SP for Glutis, for Rafithia. We're going to activate the Shrine Maiden ability again for the augmentation, right? And then we're going to save the shield for the end here, okay? And then, or the energy guard, I should say. And then as for Wilhelmina, we're just going to leave her the way she's at, right? Activate Idle Grunhilder again, okay? So, if anything, this is how it should look. And everybody should actually survive this hit. But I'm going to put, I'm just going to put Grenadier here just to make sure, right? Make sure Deanna doesn't get one-shotted. Okay, everybody looks good here, right? Everybody's good. Everybody's cleared. Okay, let's get it. Okay, they survived. Nice. So then you're just going to end it on the drone ability first. Rafithia's bridal one. Activate Grenadier's magic ability again for the Queen of Glutis costume. And then I know that you aren't going to be gaining any more light elemental from Deanna, but that's okay. Okay, because if anything, no stacks on her drone should have helped you in general. So you're still going to have 395.60% of light elemental with also an additional 100% more because of Rafithia's bridal one, depending on how much you've leveled or how much you've enhanced her. Okay? So then we're going to end it on Helmina's chain stacking ability for Queen, Splash Queen 1. So more or less, this is how it should just look. So, that being said, let's hit it. Oh, wait, no. Whoops, I forgot to activate. My bad. Hold up. There we go. And this should do it for the fight. So, I hope this guide helped you guys out. And, or if anything helped you with references on what to do. So, with that being said, I'll see you all in the next fight. Sorry this video took so long to upload. But, I was doing a lot of other things too. But see you guys. Take care. Stay classy. Stay safe. And I'll see you in the next, guys. Take care. And yeah, look at that damage. Honestly, Grunhilder can do a lot more on the higher floors. But I don't have the build right now. But she can. But yeah. With that being said, guys, you all take care. And I'm going to now go and try 13. So, see you guys.